Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the February meeting of the Emmitsburg Planning Commission. We'll get started by saying the Pledge to Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So now we're up to approving the minutes from January 31. Did anybody have any concerns or issues with the minutes? If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I hear a second? Second. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from January 31. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? So the minutes are approved for January. Do we have any public comment at this time?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So we'll move on to our agenda items. There's no old business that I'm aware of. So we'll move on to the new business.
And Mr. Chairman, just so everyone knows, Amy is on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. That's our secretary. She's taking notes from somewhere in the cloud. So our first order of business is the Emmitsburg East Industrial Park 2 and the final forest conservation plan.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to introduce you to Brandon and David, who are the owners of Federal Stone.
Welcome.
Brandon, David, and I have been courting for what, 2 years now? So we're kind of really excited that you're coming in now, and it's a long time coming. So it's going to be an excellent project. So this is the Emmitsburg East Industrial Park 2 Final Forest Conservation Plan. This is over at Creamery Court. It's in the Industrial Park Zoning District. The proposed project consists of creating 3 lots. One is to combine lots 7 and 8, which is a little over 8 acres. The stormwater management outlot, which is a little over 3 acres, and then the remainder lot, which is almost 27 acres. As always, there is our timeline, agency reviews, and then we have the suggested motion. Mr. Chairman, they're very minor comments. As you can see, they're typical comments that we have with every plan. If you'd like me to go over them, I'm more than willing, but they're pretty
Not necessary for me, but any other commissioners want him to go over the comments?
I think, Zach, if you could just go over where the slope line is that you're asking them to do it, because I think it's not important. It doesn't impact where they're at. And I want you to make sure everybody understands what
Sure.
you're asking.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the plan where Tom's Creek is north of the proposed cul-de-sac, there's a really steep slope that goes into Flat Run. So our engineer was just asking to highlight the steep slopes for construction purposes.
If anybody else, it's over 70 degrees. I took it
Yeah.
out there, measured it with a laser.
I
Really?
seem to recall that was designated on a previous plan we were approving for a different owner.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, it's standard.
Yeah, it's standard stuff.
And
Any other questions from commissioners? or-
the only other question is, how does the proposed forest conservation easement bite into him and concerns?
It's
Actually, I'd like to hear his concerns about it.
sure. So it's we were just talking about that before the meeting. There's 2 forest retention areas that were also approved in the preliminary forest conservation plan when Dan Reaver owned the property. There's 2 small, I think it was a little less than 2 acres, 2.11 acres, forest retention A, forest retention B. I'd say 90% of it is in the floodplain, so it would be undisturbed. So, and they didn't seem to have any issues with restoring that area or with keeping that area as a retention area.
Good.
We're gonna sign it, put signage as opposed to fencing.
Yep.
We reached out a lot of deer that run through that area. It'd be nice to not have to be worried about deer just caught in fence.
Yeah, we require fencing when it's new trees. If you're planting little saplings and the bucks would rub on it. So since they're existing mature forests, we're not going to require any kind of fencing. It would just be the signage that protects it from construction and people going in there and messing around.
Okay.
So we are recommending approval with the conditions set forth in the memo.
Any other questions or concerns, from commissioners?
No, looks good. Thank you.
Yeah, this all does look good. So do I hear a motion to approve with the conditions?
I make a motion that we approve the forest stand delineation approval plan with amendments as so stated.
It's actually the final forest conservation plan.
If you would just read his suggested motion. Be easier.
Okay, I motion to approve the Emmitsburg East Industrial Park final forest conservation with the below stated conditions.
Okay. We have a motion to hear second.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Kevin and a second by Glenn to approve the Emmitsburg East Industrial Park 2's final forest conservation with the conditions as outlined in the staff memo. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Oh, that was Amy. Thank you, Amy.
Been there.
Any opposed? The motion is approved. Motion passes unanimously. So moving on. Next item of business is Emmitsburg East Industrial Park 2, the final subdivision plat for combined lots 7 and 8 and remainder.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Federal Stone will be building on combined lots 7 and 8, which they are seeking to subdivide. And also, as stated previously in the final forest conservation plan, they'll also have the stormwater outlot, which is also served by Emmitsburg Glass and may be served by future development on that property. As you will see in future plans, they will have a small little retention area, stormwater retention area for treatment, which is required by the state of Maryland. And then any excess flow will go into this larger pond for the retention. So I won't go over everything. It's the same as the last plan, other than this is the subdivision. I spoke with David and Brandon before the meeting regarding the question that I had in the memo. They already do have a property owners association that they have with Emmitsburg Glass, and they would have with any other development in the future. So that you can scratch that as a potential condition as it already exists. Again, we are recommending approval. They're very minor comments, just to change the name of the plan in order to meet the approved preliminary subdivision plan naming, snowplow easement, minor things that we spoke with David and Brandon and they had no issues with.
Okay. Thank you, Zach.
Sure.
Any comments, questions, or concerns by commissioners?
No.
If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve the final subdivision plat for combined lots 7 and 8 and remainder for FS Creamery LLC with the following conditions. Am I reading the wrong line?
No, that's correct.
Okay, exactly.
That's right. Yep.
Thank you.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the final subdivision plat for combined lots 7 and 8 and remainder for Federal Stone Creamery LLC with the following conditions outlined in the staff memo. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Carries unanimously.
And we will see their faces again next month for the site plan.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen. It'll be good to have Federal Stone up here in Emmitsburg. I grew up in Thurman. I'm very familiar with you, and I used to build swimming pools, so I'm familiar with your product.
We'll try to, we're gonna bring some samples next time.
Okay.
Just don't confuse me with digging where I didn't expect digging.
I'm a digger.
Well, I figured somebody had to be out there. I was just wondering where it came from when I walked.
He surprised me. He surprised me so far. I didn't know you would be out there doing that, but
There's a question. I'll answer.
Well, if we have something out there, I'm gonna walk the land.
Okay. Well, again, thank you, gentlemen.
We'd like to stay for the rest of the meeting.
sure, absolutely.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, sure.
So moving on, we're up to Village Liquors and Plaza Inn, the corrected site plan.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the corrected site plan for 201 Silo Hill Parkway. As you all probably remember, they had a subdivision plan a couple months ago, so they were required to come back in since they have a new tax parcel to get their site plan reapproved. Nothing's changed. 6,363 square foot liquor store on the first floor, 20-unit hotel on the second and third floors, 42 parking spaces. And now the updated plan includes a new subdivision line. As always, our timeline and agency reviews. They are, again, minor comments that will, my understanding of speaking with Lee Royer's office today, they've already been corrected. They sent me over the plans, however, I didn't get a chance to look at them today, but I trust that they're clean. However, we still like you to approve it with the conditions before I get to review it. So we're recommending approval.
Okay. Any questions or concerns from commissioners?
The only question I have, because I don't want to screw you up, if there's anything little that affects your bank financing, say so now. I don't want to hear in, we approve something, then, oh, the bank screwed, asked a different question and we hose you. I don't want to do that to you again.
So there is a possibility that it's going to be changed to a hostel. Is that correct?
The bank is asking for an inclusion to the existing description. And they're asking that since the objective of renting it out might include students, so they're saying there should be a mention of a hostel. The hostel essentially, according to Wikipedia, all the other.
Pradeep, I'm sorry, just so Amy can hear us.
Thank you. And
Yes,
could you
please.
state your name, please? So
Okay,
everyone-
my name is Pradeep Saini, and I'm the developer for the project that is in front of you. So the bank advised us informally, of course, that an inclusion of in the description of the word hostel would be encouraged, because in order to rent it for an extended period of time, a motel and hotel does not accurately describe that it would be an extended stay. And the hostel would suffice, because the Wikipedia description of a motel or hotel does not describe extended stay. It gives the impression of being a transient stay, which is every day. And if you rent it by the week or rent it by the month, then they are recommending that the description hostel, the word hostel is included. Upon the lawyer review of the description as stated in Wikipedia and the other, if you Google hostel, that is what it says. It says it's essentially an inn, INN, or a motel or a hostel, but it offers an extended stay. And I had requested Mr. Zach to include that, and he got back to me promptly, asking me for the description, which I think I've already sent you, or you've not received.
Not yet.
Okay. So it's essentially a ad copy or a cut and paste of a Wikipedia description, which is 4 lines.
Okay.
So Zach, is there any legal about, having to provide, like sheets or anything between hostel and hotel?
Yes, so it's going to be the same as our hotel and motel definitions.
Okay.
They're going to have to be fully furnished rooms.
Right.
And then they have to provide linens as well. We're working with Pradeep right now, and he's going to provide us a definition. We're going to send it to our attorney, and there will have to be a text amendment. I don't foresee any problems with this being approved tonight as a hotel, as long as hostels included in the definition of hotel and motel.
So that was my question. Then it sounds like potentially our code will need to be revised.
Correct.
And my main concern was then this was just going to hold the process up even more, but it sounds like we can continue along.
Yes.
Approving.
Right. None of the requirements set forth tonight in front of you, the improvement plan or the site plan, are going to change. It's the same exact use. It's just a technical term that has to be approved in our code. It's currently not a permitted use by right or special exception, so it's going to have to be amended.
Okay, you knew this was going to be me coming and not for the approval. Can we approve with the recommendations that the council change that recommendation at their next hearing also?
No, because you're going to be seeing that text amendment.
Okay.
So we don't want to vote on something that you're going to see.
See you next,
future.
okay.
Essentially, just one particular bank that now we are dealing with that required that. The earlier bank never requested something like that. So it just one arbitrarily request that the bank came up with, and we couldn't refuse that.
Yeah, I really don't see any problems with it.
Okay.
As
Right.
long as the board doesn't see a problem with it. They have to meet all the other requirements set forth in the code. So it's
Yeah,
just,
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any Maryland definition coming out that's going to bite us. So I don't want to
Right.
slow this up anymore.
Right.
right.
So
And unless there's some sort of exception to the rule, I guess Mr. Sani is aware that any zoning text amendment does involve a fee.
Yes, we're working that with him.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
There's a possibility, Joe, that we can add it to amendment we were already going to do anyway. To
Okay.
try to save him some money.
That's cool.
So I was already going to try to update 2 sections this year. So we might just be able to throw it in, but we got to see.
The two birds thing.
Exactly.
All
Yeah.
right.
There's no point of charging them when we're already going to be in there.
Okay.
Any other questions or concerns? If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
Okay, I'll move to approve the Village Liquors and Plaza Inn corrected improvement plat with
Site plan.
below stated
Okay.
conditions.
Site plan.
Site plan.
So it's a motion to approve the Village Liquors and Plaza Inn corrected site plan with the following conditions. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Oh, sorry, Joe, give it to Joe.
Oops.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the Village Liquors and Plaza Inn corrected site plan with the conditions outlined on the staff memo. All in favor, say aye.
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 Hi,
Any opposed? It carries unanimously.
Mr. Chair. I'm sorry, I do have one question. It doesn't involve the vote. It's just a general question regarding the plan and everything with the conditions we just approved
Yeah,
and the tax ID. I know that's in the works. So once the conditions are, they're met, the tax ID, permitting for the county and everything, then the building can start.
Yes. So Pradeep did record the subdivision plan promptly. So the state and the county have not issued that tax ID as of yet.
Okay.
However, it's officially subdivided, so we can officially approve it.
Okay, nice.
yeah.
Sorry about that. I meant to ask that earlier.
Nope. As fast as I can get their plans reviewed and make sure that all the conditions were met is as soon as we can get them signed. And then as soon as Mr. Royer can submit them to the county for stormwater management and erosion.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Already submitted, we got copies.
Per- Perfect. Just working through it.
Hopefully we addressed all their comments.
Good luck.
Get it approved.
okay, moving on to our final piece of business. It's the Village Liquors and Plaza Inn corrected improvement plat.
All right, same exact situation, Mr. Chairman. With the new subdivision line, we had to reapprove the improvement plan. I spoke with Mr. Royer's office today, and all the comments were supposed to be addressed. We will look over those in the next week or so and make sure everything's good and sign off on everything. We recommend approval.
Okay. I had one comment. I'm really pleased to see that you're putting in an electric vehicle charging station. I don't think that was required, but I really appreciate that. I tried to encourage Rudders to do the same, but I didn't succeed in that. But it's very forward thinking.
No, Pradeep, I asked Pradeep to do it, and he
Oh.
was very quick in saying yes. So we really appreciate that.
And you might want to consider putting in some other conduit for future stations, because I think you'll see in the next few years it'll be necessary. Yeah.
It makes sense for a hotel, hostel, motel. When people come in and out from different states, it makes sense.
So thank you for that. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Nope, not this time. I'm good to go.
If not, we'll hear a motion to approve.
Kevin, can you get this right?
I can't do everyone.
How about, I move to approve the Village Liquors and Plaza Inn corrected improvement plat with the following conditions.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Glenn. So we have a motion to approve the Village Liquors and Plaza Inn corrected improvement plat with the conditions outlined on the staff memo. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? It carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen.
Take care. We'll be in contact.
Glad to see this is, I know it's a long road for you and it took longer than you.
Seems like we are going one step forward. 2 steps
Thank you.
back, vice versa. Thank you, everyone.
Good to see it's moving on.
Okay.
Any other business, Zach?
Nope, we will have just one item of business for our, let's see, March 28th agenda. This is a site plan
Okay.
for Federal Stone.
Okay.
I have a favor to ask, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Would it be possible in the agenda to include that Zoom info for every meeting?
Absolutely.
Okay,
And actually, we do have one more item on the agenda, not to change the subject, the map amendment we have a zoning map amendment application for the entrance of Brookfield. They're proposing a little cul-de-sac with 6 dwellings and then 4 on the opposite side of the street. So we do. And Joe, yes, we will definitely include that on
that's
the
great.
agenda.
Because I know we do it for the board meetings. I couldn't find it.
Absolutely.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair. I just need to ask a question.
Sure.
Zach, can you give an update on the butters? Just out of curiosity. I mean, I look at it, of course, every day I drive past it, but I just wondered, like, what's the status?
Yeah, they're trucking along. They finally got the connection to our wastewater treatment plant at the headworks.
Okay,
They're still trying to clean that up, a little mess, but yes, they're going to be hopefully opening late summer.
late summer, okay. And I'm sure this is part of the project, but when you pull up to the intersection on 140 and you're looking across the street on left on near Harney Road, that little corner,
Yes.
is that part of the project also?
Yes. So they removed those trees because they're bringing the sewer line and the
Ah.
water line across, and they're going
Okay.
to have a big box basically where it's for
Okay.
future connections for the trout property.
Got it. I figured it was. I just thought it was a chance to ask you a question. about
Sure.
it, so.
Yep.
Cool.
We actually
Thank-
had some public call me and ask, so that's a good question.
That works. Thank you, sir. Oh, I'm good.
Anything else from the commissioners? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll
So-
make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn, so we're adjourned. Thank you.